West Texas. Wide open spaces and big as Texas places. Some look toward the setting sun and see a whole lot of nothing. Others observe an endless sea of natural resources. Love it or hate it, this, my friends, is Texas oil country. Pump jacks and drilling rigs as far as the eye can see. And among the rough and rugged, a city that stands tall as a beacon of the Texas spirit. Midland, the tall city. It's not that tall, but come on, things aren't really that tall around here. Tall compared to mesquite trees, I guess, you know. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. About 4 to 5 hours west of both DFW and Austin is Midland, Texas, in an area known as the Permian Basin, one of the richest deposits of oil and gas in the world, which explains the skyscrapers, because when the oil boom hit in the 1920s, Midland never looked back. All right, so here we are in Midland, Texas, which got its name because it was the midpoint for the railroad between Dallas and El Paso. It truly was just a small ranching community. That is, until they struck gold, black gold. Midland exchanged its dirt for derricks and became an economic driver for Texas and America. And here we are, well, 100 years after the boom, and in some respects, nothing's changed. But then again, there's a lot that's different. It goes without saying that big oil deposits mean big business. Today, Midland has a population of over 130,000 permanent residents, and that's not considering the tens of thousands of oil industry workers that temporarily call this home. Just driving around town, the oil biz is something to behold.
You know, people don't understand the oil business of West Texas until you come out and you see it.
Now, do you call it oil or all?
All.
All?
We're just pulling out that all. Hey, you boys run out there and dig up that all from that ground. All business requires all, and so we go out and we dig up the all for all of y'all. What? Oil!
Regardless of how you say it, one thing is indisputable. That without the oil of the Permian Basin, Texas wouldn't be what it is today. And the best place to learn about it? The Permian Basin Petroleum Museum. The museum holds some amazing displays covering the entire century of oil in the Permian Basin. But I know what many of you are thinking. What is the Permian Basin? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, it's a geographic region encompassing a majority of West Texas and reaching up into southeast New Mexico. It all used to be an underwater coral reef, and over time, all those tiny carbon-based sea creatures compacted down into gold. Black gold.
All right, so here's a cross-section of the Permian Basin, and the reason it makes it so rich in oil. Basically, you have all these layers of rocks, and in between all these cracks and fault lines are reservoirs of oil. But then there's also tons of oil in a lot of this sort of porous rock, and that's why it's become a hotbed for fracking. But this right here, folks, is the Permian Basin, the thing that's been funding West Texas for about 100 years now. Drill, baby, drill! Woo-hoo! I mean, you think about it, wildcatters, speculators, railroad, boomtown, all those things that happen when you strike liquid gold underground, well, those things happened in Midland, Odessa, like 100 times that they'd happened anywhere else.
The museum is full of interactive displays that help visitors learn how drilling and fracking works, how the cost of a barrel of oil drives the world economy, and how products we use every day rely upon the petroleum industry. Things like lipstick, footballs, and of course, cars. An entire wing of this museum focuses on one very particular kind of car, the Chapparral Race Car.
All right, it is not an overstatement to say that Chapparral Racing changed everything for the sport of racing. All right, the things that they're doing in F1 right now, a lot of those can be traced back to this racing company based in Midland, Texas, which is crazy. But these guys were one of the first, if not the first, to effectively use aerodynamics to make cars go faster. See this ridiculous spoiler on this car right behind me? Well, that was kind of the first design to basically take the car, to use wind to push it toward the track to where the tires would grip and you could go faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you got it? Okay.
Got it.
And that's about the limit to my understanding. I mean, this is high-level engineering stuff. At times, the Chapparral cars went so fast that they were banned as unfair. Each of the cars in this museum are truly priceless, meaning they don't let trippers like me sit in them. I didn't do anything.
Oh, I saw that.
You know, most of the stuff in the museum is hands-on. The Chapparral cars, not so much. Now, the oil business is a funny thing. It can make you millions or make you moneyless. It can build your dreams one second and crush them the next. For decades, it has attracted the brave and bold to test their mettle in the middle of the oil patch. One family would emerge from Midland, one of the most influential families in the world, even though they started with quite humble roots.
All right, well, welcome to the George W. Bush childhood home.
Wow. This is like a time capsule here.
It is, absolutely. It's been completely restored to the period of time when the Bush family lived here in the early 50s.
Okay.
This is the only home in the United States open to the public that's been home to 2 presidents, 2 governors, and the First Lady. So it is pretty special.
That's really special.
This is Executive Director Paul St. Hilaire, who takes visitors back to the day when George H.W. Bush, World War II hero, Yale baseball captain, and eventual 41st President of the U.S., moved his family to Texas to become an oil man. In 1951, they settled in this small house on West Ohio Avenue. George W. was 5, his younger sister Robin was 2.
They evidently just opened the family scrapbooks for you guys, which is just priceless.
Yeah, they did have a lot of input while we were restoring the house and did provide us with a lot of photographs, some of which have never before been published.
During their time in this home, the family grew by 2, adding future Governor Jeb and future businessman Neil. It was chaotic, I'm sure, as Barbara ran around keeping it all together.
Well, welcome to the kitchen. This is where Barbara spent most of her day cooking, cleaning, making meals.
I recognize some of these from like my grandma's house growing up.
Oh yeah, very typical hand utensils. Of course, Pyrex bowls, everybody had to have one of those.
Wow, and the fridge.
This refrigerator was donated to us in working condition in 2005 by Laura Bush's mother, Mrs. Jenna Welsh.
Oh,
who just
cool.
turned 99 the other day, so.
Yes, Laura Bush is a Midland native, but check out the technology on this bad boy. Wish my fridge did that. However, my favorite room, definitely Little W's.
This room did take a lot of restoration work.
Wow. Y'all did a phenomenal job.
Oh man, I can just see him here on the floor playing cowboys like a little Roy Rogers.
This was a picture of the president's first visit to the house in October of 2008. The first thing he said when he walked in this room was, "Look, there's my train set." Nobody wanted to tell him it really wasn't his, so we just kind of kept quiet after that. But he did say how much the room looked like it did when he lived here, so we felt really good about that.
Oh, yeah. And this speaks to me because I was a Cub Scout. You know, I've got kids literally the same age that George was when he was in this bedroom. You know, when they're little, you don't know what they're going to become when they're big.
Right.
They have so much hope, so much potential. I had no idea that the character and the things they were building into young W here would ultimately affect the country and the world.
Right.
That's what I love so much about this house. It's not the grand palace for world leaders. It's the humble home of a family. A family that looked just like the rest of us. It goes to show that extraordinary people and extraordinary families are not created overnight, but in the thousands of tiny moments. Moments that for the Bush family happened right here in this home.
Hey, John Mark, you know what these are?
Nope.
They're the Bush's bushes.
Oh boy.
That's a good one.
Sure it is.
Some of my best stuff.
Uh-huh.
Some of my best
Yeah,
stuff.
keep trying, man.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
Well, it's time, my amigos, to eat some lunch. And while the world of West Texas is full of chicken fried steaks and barbecue, I got something different in mind. Now, I mentioned the folks come to the oil fields from all over the world, right? Well, here's a prime example. Heroes Meals is Mediterranean food, more specifically Iraqi food, that blends the flavors of the entire Middle East. So when enchiladas and cheeseburgers won't do, how about some falafel and shawarma? Brothers Bashar and Sharif are introducing the world of Midland to other worlds of cooking. A business that started out as a small meal prep operation for busy oil field workers.
Last minute, I was like, hey, why don't we have like a little like dine-in area with Mediterranean food? Because I've always wanted to have a restaurant.
I was like, wait,
Hold up.
that's not the plan. And it's like, why don't we do it? And people consider us pros in cooking because we cook good, but we never studied it. We never got proper education until we started owning a restaurant. And then this is like, oh, wait, we now have to do it the right way.
How do you learn how to cook? Open a restaurant.
Exactly, that's actually how we learn, you know? We are actually pretty brave to open a restaurant in the middle of Midland, Mediterranean, which is a big challenge because 5 ingredients on this table we can't get here.
They're so dedicated to getting the flavors right that it means importing and mixing their own spices, including mixing up their own teas.
Once we opened this and the word got out, I was surprised how many people from, different countries they came here. I was like,
Sure.
I never thought those people were in Midland,
So where are you guys from? Like, where were you born?
We were born in Kuwait,
Okay.
then we grew up in Baghdad. We got stuck there because of desert storm.
Sure. We just got done touring the George Bush home. And so you guys probably have an interesting perspective on the Bush legacy, where y'all are from.
I don't care if there was a war between this country and this country, people are not involved, we love each other, and that's our perspective. And we have very good friends that are from countries that our countries went war with. Absolutely no hard feelings, we're human beings, we don't care about politics, we don't care about governments, and this is our perspective, so yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
People are people,
Yeah. When it boils down to it, when we can sit around a table and share good food
Exactly.
and push all that to the
Well,
side.
you're not sharing.
Yeah, sharing. All mine.
Yeah.
These are just the kind of people I want to share a meal with. They're good folks who cook up really good food. They're going to give me a tip or two on whipping up falafel.
Try to go like all around, there you go. Because the more packed, the better it is, because otherwise it'll crumble.
My one tip, watch the hot oil.
There you go.
That's all right. I'll take it. It's worth it for the
The first time.
Yeah, first time.
Haha, yes. My very first falafel. This is my falafel. There are many like it, but this one is mine. So it's chickpeas, parsley, cilantro, and a little bit of other magic. I'll say I did a pretty good job. Truthfully, I did nothing. It's good because the recipe's delicious. All right, so here's what I got for the main course. A combo shawarma. Got some beef shawarma, some chicken shawarma, on top of some biryani rice. Oh, and then over here, look at this. Jamaican tea with fresh pineapple and ginger in it. Oh, gosh, that's good. Oh, I love it. Instantly. I mean, this tastes different than anything else you can find on the road. Definitely anything else we've eaten on the road.
But wait, we're not done yet. No meal would be complete without finishing up with some Iraqi tea.
This is the fanciest tea set I have ever sat behind. Oh, that's good. Almost like a black tea, but it's got a whole lot more going on there. There's some licorice, some cardamom maybe, all kinds of stuff in it. Oh, that's delicious.
Finishing up a big meal sipping on sweet tea? Well, maybe we aren't so different after all. Oh man, it was great.
Yeah.
I just like eating something out of the norm,
I think you just have to be brave and try it even if you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you have to get a little lucky. You can say be brave and have gas station sushi. And,
Oh!
hey, that doesn't always.
That's not brave. That's just stupid.
Oh, see, okay, well, just because you had gas station sushi sickness once or twice.
I'll never do that a fifth time.
Right.
I'll never do that a fifth time. Well, there's another spot in Midland that has Iraqi tea beat as the sweetest place in town. A candy shop. More specifically, Susie's South 40 Confections, where every day they cook up enough sugar to fund an entire country's economy and ship it out all over the world. Most days you'll find Susie herself in her signature red boots scooting across the floor.
I'm coming here for more than just candy. That's awesome. Give me just the quick background. How did you get started doing this?
Had a pecan grove, wanted to do something with the pecans rather than just sell them.
Okay.
So we had land south of Midland, 40 acres south of Midland. Therefore, Susie South 40. There was a pecan grove, 800 trees. That's how we got started.
That's cool.
Isn't that awesome?
So everything you made in the beginning had a pecan in it somewhere.
Yeah, oh yes, yeah.
Susie is a Texified, strong female entrepreneur who has blazed her own trail in the candy business. When she does something, she goes big, as evidenced by this Texas-shaped mold that once made the world's biggest chunk of toffee.
Smells like candy. I like it.
Everything is good here, but the signature showstopper, her famous Texas trash, which, as you might guess, is covered in sugar.
I can barely breathe. There's so much sugar in this room.
He's coating it over there.
Okay.
And they're tossing it in powdered sugar.
All right. So you got a special mix of, we got pretzels.
Yeah, cereals, nuts, and pretzels.
I got to move fast.
You do, okay.
I'm just doing what you're doing.
No, body movement doesn't count.
No,
it's
just
your arms.
Okay. So you want to flip it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, doing what she's doing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Moving fast. Moving fast. Get on top there. Come on now.
These ladies are leaving me in the dust. But
There was smoke everywhere. I think there were things on fire. I mean, I was in there, in the trenches, making the trash for the people.
in the next room is where they make the toffee, with lots and lots of butter. Each one of these vats makes about 80 pounds of toffee, and they make 22 vats a day.
Okay.
All right, now spread it out.
Spread it out all the way to the edges.
All the way to the edges, yes. You want it to be level.
It's cooling fast.
I know, I told you
It's
that.
cooling fast.
Yeah. You don't have time to sit here and chew gum and talk about it. You got to stay.
But I'm a TV show host. That's what I do. I don't think I'm doing much. I'm just kind of moving my arm back and forth so these women think I'm actually contributing to this, but I'm not really.
Okay, you're going to do the edges. Okay, now go back and take the edge off.
Wait, take the edge off. Take the edge off.
Yeah, you take the
You
edge
just
off.
have me make an edge.
I know.
Oh, I'm sweating over here. Get your edge. Smooth it out. Don't leave holes. It'll ruin everything. It's Christmas. They won't get good toffee for Christmas, and it'll be your fault, Chet.
Oh, I'm not turning into a very good hand.
We can't lose him.
No,
Get him.
Already?
Get
him.
Ah!
Oh.
No.
Cup on the. Oh, no. I can't. Now I understand.
Yeah.
No. I'll eat that one. That's good. Now I understand why it was so hard for Lucy.
You are fired, my friend. You are fired.
I'll keep eating them. I'll take this one too, Susie.
Oh, yeah, every bit of it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Ah, I knew there was a job I would be good at. Maybe the crew and I'll just stick with eating.
Thank you, Reggie.
Now, usually on an episode, between the eating, we like to go outside. And most unexpectedly, sandwiched between the derricks and highway, Midland has the perfect spot for just that. Located only feet from Interstate 20 is the I-20 Wildlife Preserve, a 100-acre wild space encompassing an urban playa, which in Spanish means beach, but out here, it's a natural wetland.
Man, I just think it's so awesome that they've been able to carve out a little piece of nature here in the middle of the oil field. Because you drive around Midland, you see so much heavy equipment, and it seems like every last bit of nature has been covered with an oil derrick or a pump jack or something like that. And so it is really awesome to find this little preserve around a playa nonetheless.
At this moment, there must be hundreds, if not billions, of ducks on the water. But I'm also bad at counting.
Look right there. There's some mallards, coots. Kiskadees, some greater cormorant, some lesser cormorant. All right, I don't know much about birding, I'm sorry. The ducks that go quack, they're out there.
It's an oasis of animal and plant life. And I think I've finally identified what's been growing on my face all these years.
Man, it's beautiful. West Texas isn't really known for its fall colors, but look out there. I mean, we got reds, we got yellows, greens. It's beautiful. But the playas out here are super important for a number of reasons. One, they help recharge the aquifer. And two, they are holdover stops for all the migrating birds heading south. You know, it's a shame, but a lot of people see this as kind of wasted land. So historically, these were sort of dumping grounds where they got filled in with dirt so that you could actually, you know, farm or ranch on the land. But people didn't really realize how valuable they are for the animals and also for the beauty of having a place like this to just come and breathe in the fresh air.
Proof that industry and nature can coexist when the people care enough to make it happen. I'm not really ready to head indoors, but it is time for dinner. Well, luckily, I know a spot with the best of both worlds. Time to head to the Midland Beer Garden. It literally is a garden. Well, a greenhouse to be more precise. A place to kick back, grab some food and a beverage, listen to some music, and hang with the tortoise. What? A little different, I know. But that's how owner Jorge Hernandez Jr. likes it.
My dad owned the nursery already. He started it in 1996. He was an entrepreneur. He just came out, started a nursery, right?
All right.
When I turned 21, I went to New York City and I traveled all over the place, but I went to a few beer gardens and I was like, you know what? I have a garden. Let's add some beer to it. We started out really small and then it took off.
It may have started as like a nursery with a beer garden. Now it's like a beer garden that sells some plants on the side.
Yeah.
Is that that's kind of what I'm figuring out?
That's kind of how it is. And
sure.
The whole thing about the oil field is you get all these people from all over the world coming to this little corner of West Texas, and they all say the same thing. This feels like home.
Well, what I love about a beer garden vibe is so much different than this sort of bar that I guess Americans or Texans have known for decades upon decades. A beer garden's a totally different thing. It's about the community.
Exactly.
It's about the person you're sitting and talking with.
Exactly.
And there may be music, but it's mostly about friendship.
Everything that we do is to promote like person-to-person contact, meeting new people. So that's why we don't have table service. We want you to get up out of your table, go to the bar, get in front of somebody that you don't know and maybe strike up a conversation.
So you won't find any distracting TVs. It's about the people you're hanging with. And if they aren't any good at conversation, well, you can always just watch the tortoise eat. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. From this small trailer, you'll find some insanely delicious food, like a burger made of brisket that's ground in-house and sided with some amazing fries and homemade poppers.
All right, here we go, dinner time. Starting off with a little jalapeno poppers. Homemade nonetheless. Oh, dude, that is a legit jalapeno popper. And this angry mayo is making me very happy. I've got a few, I'll share. Yeah, you get one too. Oh, no. Look at this, pork fries with like 3 different sauces on them, one of which is called like a mumbo sauce. Not even sure what that is, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be delicious. Ooh, this might ruin me from all future French fries. All right, house ground brisket burger. Really good burger, incredible. That's a solid burger.
Woo! A town like Midland will always be known for oil, and that's okay. I mean, the industry has shaped our Texas economy and built leaders that have gone on to shape the world. It's diverse, it's sweet, it's beautiful. It's Midland, and there's nothing else like it. Well, maybe Odessa, but that's a whole nother day trip. So from out here in Midland, vaya con Dios, amigos. Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.